Right, I've just finished work and it's a little bit early. Too early to be sitting down and watching telly when there's things that could be done. So I'm going to go out in my man cave and see if I can find anything to do. There's always something to do. And I'd rather be doing something in here than sat inside watching telly. Right, one thing I always need is some good kindling to get my fire going. And what I find is I normally bring it in here to chop it. And I sometimes just chop it on the floor like this. Sometimes I chop it on this coffee table. But like that, this is never ideal because you don't want to be chopping on a hard surface. I tried not to then, but that axe went through and hit that. It don't always, but sometimes it does. And that's not good. It's not good for your axe, it's not good for your table or good for your floor. So last week's video was me making a chopping block. Well, I had the chopping block, but it was inside the inside the wood store. What I'm trying to think of. So I thought, well, if a chopping block for a big log is good enough, then what I need for kindling is a mini chopping block, surely. Now I have had a mini here in the past. I'll just go get one now. So this is an example. It's just a tree stump of what I've used in the past, and it's ideal because if you go through, you watch it what happened now. There, if you go through, you're only going into wood. But to be fair, it's a little bit bulky as that. And as you know, in a man cave, space is premium, and if you can save a bit of space by making something small and functional that still works, then that's a bonus. So what I thought I'd do is make a custom made kindling chopping block out of this. One that neatly tucks out of the way when I don't need it, and then I can just access really easy when I do need it. Just because I like doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to go from man cave to workshop. It's dropped a bit cold actually. Right, but how can I work in this? I'm going to have half an hour tidying up first. Better. I was going to say I had more firewood than I could shake a stick at. Apparently not. Right, let's get this chopped down. It's a bit thick to go in my chop saw, but I think if I'm very careful and I turn it round, I should be able to do it. Just got to be very careful and hope it doesn't, well, make sure it doesn't snag. Got 3 pieces and I wanted 2. Look at that, that's called stopping 3 feet from gold. I only needed to cut another inch out and it'd have gone. Anyway, I'm happy with that. Right, seeing as a lot of the bark has fallen off already, I'm going to take the rest of the bark off. I was going to leave it on, but in my haste, not cutting and throwing it on the floor, I lost some of it anyway. Right, I'm going to put it through the thickness planer. I'm not actually sure if this works on end grain, if you can do this, but we're going to find out. Yeah, and there's the answer. It does go through. it's nice and smooth, but you do tend to get a bit of tear out on that back edge, which I suppose, yeah, obviously because the grain's going up, so it just knocks it straight off. Gonna get hot. I need my gloves. I think Brasso clean this. Copper pipe. In Brasso normally sort of creamy. I'll leave that to soak in for a while. Looks more like dirty water than Brasso. Mind you. Has it got a sell by date on it? 2021. Might not be any good. God. I do keep some rubbish. How does Brasso go off? Surely not. Oh, it's working. Oh, God. Cheap screws, cheap drills. That'll do. Right, back in my man cave. Feels lovely and smooth. Looks great, I love it. Right, my favourite bit now. I'm going to put some oil on it. And I'm using Odie's oil that Carl Pope gave me last year. I've only a bit left. I should have enough to do this. I think Carl sells this on his website. I think you can get it off internet if you type in Odie's oil, but if you go to Carl's site, I think he's got a link directly to the manufacturer, whatever. Look at that, look how that grain's popped. Absolutely beautiful. Let's do it bottom. I love to have that grain pop. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it all again. There you go. Made entirely from discarded materials. I'm even chuffed with that handle.
I've dipped in skips, I've looked in bins, I've taken what I found. I took things home to save their lives, as crazy as it sounds. To bin this stuff just makes no sense. Materials have worth. It's a simple plan, recycle if you can. We might just save the earth.
So there you go, once I've finished, it tucks away neatly under there, and it looks good. I've already checked as well, I've had the fire going, it doesn't get too hot under there. Obviously the sides and the top gets hot, but the heat rises, there's no danger of that setting on fire. In fact, I've seen people stack logs underneath fires before, under wood burners. So yeah, nice and accessible, easy to use. I'll always use that now. Save my floor, save my axe, save my coffee table. Thanks for watching, see you again, bye.